Welcome back to another episode of St. Augustine Hometown Gems. I have a really special guest today, PieInTheSky. I have here today Phyllis and Kathy, and they are a big part of how this all happened. So let's get into it.
Well, as we were talking before we started recording, it's the stories that make PieInTheSky special, because we can spout numbers all you want. We got 900 seniors. The average income of our seniors is $1,496 and change.
Wow.
Average income. We can talk about, how many women we serve and men we serve and all of that, but it's each senior's unique story that we value. And we always say, we give, and you can test it.
Yes.
You can give us testimony on this. The quality of the produce we serve to a senior, we think of it as a prescription for good health.
Yeah.
And we know that when we all eat well, we feel better, we keep people out of emergency rooms. So the government spends billions of dollars on seniors going to emergency rooms for care because of not eating properly, heart disease, diabetes, the litany of all of them that have food-related issues to them. But it's how you get those stories.
Right.
We pack all this produce up here, and people like you put it in your car, and you drive it, and you get the treat.
I do.
Get the real treat.
And I get the smiles, and I get the thank yous, and every week they've been continuously even more grateful than the last, it seems. Like, because they're getting to know me, they're like, hi, and they're they're opening up more.
They look forward to seeing you. Sometimes you're the only one they see for 2 weeks.
Yes.
I'm a driver also, so I know that special connection.
Yeah.
And it is special.
It is.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing them.
Yes, yes.
You do,
and their animals.
And animals, and what's new, and new in their lives. And back in the days of COVID, when we all learned in our own ways what social isolation was.
Right.
We couldn't go where we wanted. We couldn't do what we wanted to do. We couldn't see certain family members. And it was put to me by one beautiful senior, because we had stopped serving for about 2 weeks when we were trying to figure out how we were going to continue serving during this epidemic called COVID. And we would call each senior. I think we had about maybe 400 seniors at the time. We had a telephone thing. We just called all the seniors. We sent out postcards. We sent out letters to them. And I was speaking to one senior who said, well, honey, it's really nice that you're so concerned about, how we're doing and this and that. And she said, but Phyllis, we're seniors. We don't see a lot of people a lot of the time.
Right.
We know what this feels like.
And that's kind of sad.
It has made a profound effect on how I feel about what we do at PieInTheSky.
Right.
Because that's the gift. We buy the freshest, best produce we can buy, and we have a great time in the warehouse packing it, and great camaraderie, and everybody's proud of when we walk out and we load those drivers' cars. I just smile to myself, because I know the big treat is coming for that driver to have that story. And that gets to, it's that fighting social isolation.
Yeah.
That social isolation can be devastating to a senior, can be devastating to all of us, not to have someone, in our lives that checks in on us. We're doing a survey this year of every new senior as part of our grant from Baptist Hospital, that asks, that question, do you have someone that checks in on you every 2 weeks?
That's important.
Every 2 weeks. And we're going to take those numbers and then we're going to go back to that senior in 6 months after being with the program for 6 months to see if those things change. Do you have something to look forward to?
Right.
You know, one of the questions on there is a real tearjerker to me. Do you skip meals to
Oh.
make ends meet, to pay your bills? You know,
Yeah.
and I think that some of us don't, you know,
We
live
don't
in that world.
even think about
We
that.
don't live in that
No.
world, and
Yeah.
we think of, you know, and we think about it. But you know, the whole unique story of Pie in the Sky, starting 17 years ago, and in a little town called Hastings, and a little girl named Malia Gariba had a grant for the Betty Griffin House, and she was helping battered women in that community of Hastings. The grant ran out, as most of them do. It wasn't renewed, and she didn't want to leave. And she said, "I can make a difference here. I love these people. I can fill in where you know, the county may not be able to
Fill in the gap.
Yeah, and I'm going to fill in the gaps."
Yeah.
And you know, two of her friends looked at her and said, "Well, how are you going to do that, Malia?" And she said, "Well, you know, Johnny Barnes has a restaurant, and he makes the best fried chicken and Southern food in the world, but he does not sell dessert. This is sinful. Sinful, I tell you, just sinful. And I'm going to get him to rent me the little store right next to his restaurant. I'm going to bake pies. He's going to sell them by the slice, and people will come from far and wide to buy my pies."
Wow.
And Melissa, who is our COO today, now in this organization,
Wow. Okay.
she said, "Malia, can you bake a pie?" And she said, "Well, no, but I'm going to learn." And their other friend who was standing there looked at her and said, "Oh, honey, this is a pie in the sky idea if I've ever heard one." That's a story.
And that's
in
the
itself.
name.
That
Yeah,
is our
that's
name.
awesome.
That's why we're called that. You know, that's why we're Pie in the Sky. And she stayed there. Malia Gariba took hold in that community. She had a food bank. I think the proudest thing for all of us who know Malia is that at that time in Hastings, 17 years ago, there were some nefarious crew chiefs running, you know, labor in the farm, in the fields.
Okay.
And it was really bad.
What
It
year?
was like,
What year did you say that was?
Well, 17 years ago, whatever that date was, 17 years ago. But so it was like modern day slavery.
Oh,
You know, they would take
yeah.
they would take your ID, they would take your Social Security, and God forbid you were at 65 and could get Social Security, because they would take that too. And then your food cards, they applied for, you know, for SNAP benefits, and they took that also. And Malia found out about this through a lovely lady named Diane, and who heard the farm workers talking, and she told Malia this, and she said, "Well, we could do something about this." And I believe the number is this: Malia and a team of the first Pie in the Sky volunteers ferreted out 36 people from those horrible conditions and living conditions, and got them back to their families, into relatives, into rehab if they needed to go there, into the hospital if they needed that, with the help, you know, with the help of just good people. And you know, that's a story.
Yeah.
And then there was the food bank, and after that, it became not safe for Pie in the Sky to be down in Hastings because the crew chiefs were kind of threatening. DOJ got involved, and Homeland Security said, "Nope, can't be here." So we just moved up the street.
Wow.
You know, this program is celebrating its 10th year. In March of 2016,
Wow.
we started this program after a conversation we had at the Council on Aging, finding out there were over 400 people on a waiting list for Meals on Wheels. And we sat there in that meeting and thinking, okay, well, you know, going to the food deserts with our food truck is not going so well, because they really didn't ask us to come.
Right.
They really want Winn-Dixie. They don't want the food truck. They want something stable in their lives. And we just sat there, and after the meeting, we were like doing the happy dance as we're walking out. I said, you know, we could be Veggies on Wheels. We know how to buy produce. We could deliver it directly to their door. She's going, I'm thinking the same thing. We turned around and went to talk to Pat O'Connell, who is the director at the time, and she said, "Yeah, well, we that some of these people can still cook, and some of them, have family that cooks? And he said, well, we'd like to serve them produce delivered to their door at no charge to them. That's how this program started.
Okay.
That is how the program started. We had 11 seniors. That
Wow.
with 11 seniors, we started out. We spent $126 on food for the month. We delivered 194 pounds of produce, and the budget was $2,000.
Oh.
Today, we serve 900 seniors. We probably push out every week about 3,400 pounds of produce.
Wow.
So over a year's period, it's tons of produce we're
Right.
delivering. Kathy and I have the fun jobs. We're in the warehouse. Malia sits in front of 3 big computer screens all day long and raises money and writes grants and talks to people and does that. But she just does it.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. Why we do it is because it's a privilege. It's a privilege to serve in the community, and we,
and they're not just a number. Like,
no, they're not a number.
So tell me about this.
This is
magazine.
Miss Anna. I'll show you the picture. I'll show the picture to you, and then we'll give you she loves this one the best.
Oh,
she has this one.
That's a good smile.
She is here in this picture. She was 100. She is 102 years old.
Wow.
Still living by herself on the island
Wow.
in Davis Shores. She has a gorgeous family that comes in and checks on her every single day. But she is very independent, and she is from a old Menorcan family. And and she calls Heidi and Pam her little angels.
Oh.
If you were to call her up and ask
which
her,
are her drivers.
Yeah, her
Yeah.
drivers. Heidi and Pam are her
they
drivers.
deliver to her.
Her little angels. They come and see me all the time. They spend time with me.
Yeah.
They, you just can't beat that.
No.
She's and we had the privilege of celebrating. Yeah, 3. She was 99, then 104. She's even longer than that. I think she's 5 years a senior with us.
Wow.
And she's delightful. And every senior has a story, and Malia is a great storyteller. And people can go to our website to read some of the stories. We serve a variety of people.
Right.
We have a couple who I was taken aback, really. I had to take a breath about this one. I had a call one day from a young woman, bubbly, effervescent as all giddy up. And she's, I'm calling for my partner. I'm not quite, a senior yet, but he is a senior and we could use a little help. And we heard about your program through the Wildflower Clinic. And I said, well, okay, let's talk about your partner. And, she said, well, his name is this and, this and that. And I said, and, next question, where do you live? We live in a tent under the 206 bridge, the East End.
Oh.
And I will tell you, something happened to me. It clicked. I just kept right on going because of her exuberance and life for life. And this is our situation, but we're moving through it.
Right.
And we still serve them.
Oh.
They're looking to do better, and different agencies are trying to help them, but they live not far from a Circle K, and they go up there and they clean the whole parking lot area. They're good community neighbors, and I think the people at the convenience store look the other way if they pop something in the microwave.
Right.
There's and then there's the story why we don't take federal or state money, because it comes with restrictions, as it should. It's taxpayer dollars, good money, but you have to follow those rules exactly. They get to say who a senior is.
Oh.
We want to say who a senior is, and a senior could be a 48-year-old woman who has stage 4 breast cancer.
Right.
And all she wants to do is cook vegetables. She can't drive anymore. and I got all of this information at the end. At the end, it was Flagler Care Connect at the time I was speaking with, and she says to me, she's 48 years old. Can you take her? And we went, of course we'll take her. Of course.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
yeah, 'cause we can decide who we're going to serve.
Yeah.
We don't. I think today, out of the 900 seniors, I would venture to say, you tell me if I'm wrong about this, I think probably maybe there's 16 that are not 60,
right.
that are under
60.
under 60, and they have different medical needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we serve seniors.
But if you guys didn't do it, who would?
Wonderful food banks out there, but not every senior can go to a food bank and stand in line,
right?
Or has a card to get in line, at the food banks. And churches do a wonderful job, but not everybody can get to a church.
Right.
And, and truly, talk about gems.
Mm-hmm.
Those are unsung gems too.
Definitely.
The people that will step up, during the egg crisis. And I don't know if you took a picture of Miss Margaret on the far door and Malia.
I think so.
Yeah. Miss Margaret started the egg, as we call it, the egg movement.
Okay.
When prices skyrocketed on eggs. We had started, I think we'd been delivering eggs for maybe about 3 months. And I called Malia. I said, Malia, they have gone from $28 a case to $79 a case. I don't know how we're going to do this. And at that same time, serendipity struck, and a journalist friend of Malia's called and said, hey, I haven't talked to you in a long time. What's going on? I need to write a story about pie in the sky. Let's talk. And so Malia talked about eggs and how we might not be able to serve, to serve our seniors eggs, the perfect protein.
Right.
You give a senior a loaf of bread and 12 eggs, that's 12 meals.
Right.
And that was our thinking on it from the get-go. And so she talked about it, and she said, oh, tell Phyllis to call up somebody and get a quote. And I think she's my go-to gal. I call her Miss Margaret for everything. Miss Margaret, we need a quote. Let's talk about eggs. What would it mean if you got eggs every time we came out to see you?
Right.
And she said, oh, I would just make fried egg sandwiches all the time. My favorite sandwich. Well, back to Johnny Barnes, who gave Malia her start in Hastings, read this article, got good and angry as only Johnny can get. So it went in the record, then it went from the record, it went to the Times-Union. He's reading this, he's mad, he calls up Malia, when are you coming to St. Augustine? I'll be there next week. Well, meet me over here. Gave her a check for $500 and said, you tell Miss Margaret I'm coming to her house and I'm going to make fried egg sandwiches for her. Well, somehow that got from the newspaper to the quote in the newspaper, got to Johnny. That quote got to, they're Gannett. So it was Channel 12, I guess. Mm-hmm. Channel 12 came out, filmed him cooking eggs in the trailer with Miss Margaret and a bunch of us. That hit the news. And the PS to the story, this is about the community too. Mm-hmm. $35,000 rolled into this organization.
Wow.
From that over.
Just from that.
Because people wanted our seniors to have eggs. So these are the stories that make, and to this day, Pie in the Sky is a boots on the ground, grassroots organization. We may be the vessel of Pie in the Sky, but she fills the vessel.
Right.
She is our volunteer coordinator.
Right.
And the numbers that she has been able to take care of and get into our program have been amazing.
And Danette's one of them.
And you're one of them. And you are one of them. So, it's all these stories that make Pie in the Sky, as we say, something special.
I happened upon it when I was looking to get myself involved in the community because I need to know people. I need to, you know,
Yeah.
I have this new job and I
Yeah.
have to get to know the community. So Pie in the Sky came up and I read about it and I'm like, okay, you know, and at first I started with like arts and crafts, right?
Yeah.
For
And
a
we were
couple
doing the kite,
times.
and you did the
Yeah.
the Merrymakers.
Yep.
So that's at 8:30. We have volunteers come in and make gifts for our seniors.
Yep.
And then we also have the kindness crew, which
Yep.
makes birthday cards for our seniors.
Yep.
So we
Yeah.
do that every week. So we
Yep.
know our seniors' birthdays. They get a birthday cake. They get a little gift from the Merrymakers
Yep.
that they've made and a loaf of bread with that. That's their bread bag.
And they love it when they get
love
the
it.
cards and the special gifts. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, I got some,
Yeah.
because you're like, you got an extra this week.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're so excited.
yeah.
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 So
Yes.
that really, that's something special. It's
Mhm.
not just groceries.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's just not all about the food.
Right.
No.
It's about the connection. It's the
Yep.
heart to heart connection.
Definitely.
Mhm.
You know, and the motto around here is you know, peace begins when the hungry are fed. And a lot of times it's not the vegetables, it's how you feed the heart and the
Right.
soul. And
Yeah.
that in turn feeds our hearts
Yeah.
and souls and
Mhm.
makes it easy to get up every morning and come to the warehouse at 6:00.
Yeah.
I'm a six. Oh, I'm really a 6:30 now. 6:30. She's a 7
7.
o'clock.
We're
And
early.
and it's easy. It's easy to get here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You just want to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Get
do the
started
work.
and get everything ready for
Yeah.
everybody.
I could see where that
Yeah.
would
It's all
be
from the heart,
fulfilling.
right?
Yes.
A
Definitely.
lot from the heart. And one of the things I wanted to say is that people can go to our website, which is www.PieInTheSky.stjohns.org.
Yeah.
And that's where they would sign up to be a volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the location. We have about 260 volunteers right now and about 100 active. We have about like 80 drivers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So that do the routes, and then there's like shifts that come in Monday through Thursday, taking care of the produce. We take care of the bread. We take care of getting the eggs all boxed up and ready for all the routes. And it's very active from the time we get here. She gets here like 6:30 in the morning, produce delivered on Monday. And Friday's our admin day. So that's what
Right.
we call, we're doing our paperwork and putting the applications in. We do have
Okay.
an orientation for our volunteers now
Oh,
on
okay.
the last Thursday of the month. So it'll be March 26th at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And that's where we tell everybody like what Pie in the Sky is all about, get those
Yep.
stories
Tell
and
them.
everything. And then we tell them about, how do you think you're going to fit in? Do
Right.
you want to be a driver? Do you want to work in the warehouse?
Where's your biggest need right now?
Right now for drivers.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're growing so fast
Okay.
that we don't
Yeah.
let our routes go over 15.
Right.
Seniors for a
Right.
driver to deliver.
Yeah,
to.
'cause
So
it's-
it's all of St. Johns County.
Yeah.
But we give them a route that's like in the same area, but
Right.
still that's just too
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
I think, and
We split
and
that.
we really want the routes to be about no more than 12 because, each route is designed to be like maybe an hour and 15 minutes
Yep.
in mileage.
Yep.
However, happy spend time
Right.
with people, and we want it. When you have 15 people, it's just sometimes
You don't want to rush through it.
No,
you
so-
want, yeah, you want
talk
to have,
to them. I mean,
yeah,
part of it's like, here's your food, go. You
Right.
You talk to them. You talk to
talk
the
to
pet. Like,
yes, yes.
Yeah, and you can't. But so drivers really are
Yeah.
the main crux of what we
But
need right
we love
now.
our volunteers. I mean, our
Yeah.
volunteers.
Yeah.
I always say this when I'm
But-
talking to people is that the volunteers we have work from their heart,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
you know it. If you're
Mhm.
going to fit in, you have heart. And
Yeah.
that's just how I see it. Is that we all are like connected that way.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think the unique thing about every person who now has a paid position with Pie in the Sky was once a volunteer.
Yeah.
Once volunteers.
Yeah.
And that includes our dear Malia, who did this for many years and didn't get paid
Right.
anything. So we said, yeah, you volunteered a lot back in the day when she first started.
She built it,
Yeah,
right?
she built
hers.
it
Yeah.
from the ground up, and
Mhm.
it's an amazing thing.
hmm
That it's like the little organization that could.
Yeah, because it's not easy. It's not like,
No.
we sit here today and we're like, talking about it, but it's grit,
Yeah.
and it's, persistence
grit,
and
and it's
heart and soul.
It's a
And
belief that you can, I always say, people say, well, Phyllis, how did you figure out the logistics of all of this? And how did you, I said, well, I was in construction for many years and I can see the organization and things. And then I was in summer camping for a bit. And, we would take kids through the Hartsfield Airport. And I figured if I could take 200 kids through the Hartsfield Airport and get them back to where they belong
safely.
well, we could do this.
Right?
And the beautiful thing of it all is when you're doing, you don't know you can't do it. And you
I know that.
You know that.
I know that.
You just do it.
You just do it.
You just do it.
I just was talking about with myself this morning. You just go out and do it. You're scared. You don't know how to do it. You got to just get out there and put your one foot in front of the other and keep going.
Yeah. And you do it. And the culmination of it is,
So let's talk about donation. What would you ask of people that want to donate? I know you guys have specific items, and that's for a reason.
Yeah, we you can go to our website. You can look at our wish list. We try to put things together. We didn't ask. Over Valentine's Day, we were blessed with about 1,000 boxes of really gorgeous pasta. And it's very lonely because it doesn't have any pasta sauce. And we would like pasta sauce.
Okay. Yes.
To pair up with our spaghetti.
Because you can't just eat plain
No.
pasta.
I mean, you could,
but that's
much rather have that.
Some sauce.
The other thing is the beautiful kids and families at Southwoods Elementary School does a cereal drive for us. This is the 3rd year, I believe, they've done it for us, and they give us all kinds of cereal, and we go to pick up. All the little kids and the teachers are all in their pajamas, and they're outside in the patio, and they have all of these boxes of cereal set up like dominoes. And the principal comes out and she taps the first one, and the cereal boxes go all the way around, and the kids are screaming and screeching.
That's
and the teachers are cheering.
That's really
it's the
cute.
best. But guess what? We need shelf-stable milk to go in the cereal. Because we think
That's
about
another need.
We think about.
So we need a sauce drive.
And we need a sauce drive. We need
shelf-stable milk drive.
We have lonely peanut butter. We got a bunch of peanut butter.
So you need jelly.
So we have need to have jelly go with our peanut butter.
And
that's terrible. That's a crime.
That's just a crime, right?
Yeah. Or Nutella. I mean, we all like Nutella.
Yeah, that would work.
If you really love seniors, you'll know that they love Nutella.
And then we get the non-sexy items. Toilet paper.
Oh, okay. So toiletries.
Soap, laundry
Paper towels.
detergent, paper towels. All of it.
Yeah.
Those are high-end items.
It costs so much
for a
money.
senior
I know
buy.
when we have to buy groceries and toiletries, the bill's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
So those are just a few of the things, but that's what we're looking for right now.
And
Okay.
we always ask our seniors, do you have a pet? Do you have a cat or a dog?
Yeah.
Right.
And so, then we write that down. So if we get a donation of that, they're always asking for pet food.
Pet food.
So we're running
Cat
we
and
run out
dog
of that
pet
cat
food.
and dog food. We're running out of that.
I know
all
that's
the
rare
time.
because I've only gotten it a couple times, and I
Right.
have a
So it's
couple
not- we don't get it
seniors.
that
Yeah.
often.
And we don't get it that often.
And that's really
it goes
expensive.
very
Yes.
quickly.
Yeah, when we
Yep.
do get it,
Yeah.
it just goes fast. We get the big bags and then we divvy it up into quart size and
Right.
then,
Yeah.
have it
Yep.
out there for you guys to take at the drivers. But that's something we need.
Something we need.
Yeah.
We
Well, they
it.
need. Yeah, we like to give it to them. It's a nice thing
Yeah.
because it costs them money.
Yeah. Anything helps them out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, is there anything else you want to add?
Well, we want to say how proud we are of you for doing
Oh,
this, having
okay.
this Facebook page, and we're just tickled.
Yeah.
I mean, we really
are,
tickled.
yeah.
She wants to
Oh.
what? Interview us?
Oh,
Yeah,
But
that's so
really,
sweet.
what a great thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm not
What a
gonna
great
cry.
thing to do. Be
That-
proud.
Yeah.
that makes me feel good because you know how scared I was in talking about just doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote the email and, it sat around for a few minutes and I had to convince myself to do it, but I did it and here we are.
Yeah.
Aw.
So there's a lot of things I have big ideas actually that haven't come to fruition yet, but
And you can
look for
do it.
more.
Yes.
On your way.
Yes.
You are on your
Yeah,
way.
look for
We're
more.
very
So
proud of you.
thank you. And I am having so much fun
Yeah.
meeting everybody. And
Yeah.
this is my home away from my original home in New York because I miss my
Oh.
family and I miss my kids and everything.
Yeah.
So
Aw.
they're my older kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
But anyway,
I miss
yeah.
them.
So it's my home away from home and I'm getting to know people and you guys are making it that much better. Thank you, Phyllis, and thank you, Kathy. I really, really enjoyed this and I learned a lot. Thank you guys for watching. Keep looking for those gems and I'll see you next time.
So make it feel like sunshine.